signal here. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit. This is part of why it's been a little while since I've been on. And you know what? It's gotten me back into the habit of doing like pre-recorded videos because I got into doing live videos a lot. It's very easy to just push that and not have to have anything saved in my phone. Either way, we're gonna flow with whatever works. Now, I have to let you know, being in the new situation that I am, that anything could happen. One of my kiddos could walk up and need to talk to me. There could be strange noises, all sorts of fun stuff. You never know in this life. That being said, I decided to pull one card for y'all and for me too, because we're in this together. And I had to laugh because that card has so much to do with some other stuff that I thought I'd get on an update. And that card is from my Alice in Wonderland deck. And it says, follow your own good advice. Trust yourself. You know what is best for you, right? And it's funny because I remember when things kicked off about 22 months ago. And that was one of the things in my mind, in my heart, and just like resonating through my soul of like, who am I to give any sort of advice to anyone else that I am not actively following, that I am not modeling as an example of? And there was also that aspect of like, I need to trust myself. Like, I recognize that I also was in my own karmic cycles with relatives and others, and like, even with my DM, like, I needed to get out of those cycles. And the only way out was to trust myself and to take many multiples um, of leaps of faith, to say, you know what, I can do it. And that's something that for me too, that was a part of my own advice, like stuff that I told my DM and others a bunch, like trust yourself, follow your dreams, do what you feel is right for you. Don't let the naysayers get you. But guess what? I was the first one to be doing. Yeah, I let those naysayers get me. I let those doubts get to me. You know, I held on to things that, while I'm not going to say they weren't important, simply that trying to hold on to them didn't keep them there any longer, and it didn't allow me to progress forward in a way that would have likely kept those aspects or energies or experiences around in healthier ways. So I feel good. Not like I'm not done. I'm not in that place where like, oh, everything's accomplished and it's all done and life's all done. No, no, no. I'm on that level where I recognize that I have gone through, I have dismantled pretty much anything and everything that was like an unsteady foundation that held me back before. There's still some unpacking to do there. However, at this moment in time, I made it through family court, and my youngest is now back with me full time, safe, and we've been having fun. It's not perfect, especially because my DM is a stubborn one, and of course, that required some, I'm going to say, painful acceptance processes of some things that he and Karmics have been doing. However, I think it's good. I think it went just the right way to help unravel further karmic cycles. And most importantly, it went for in the best way that it could for our sons. Secondarily, I am getting to go to real estate school, and I'm really excited about that. I'm finishing up the last little bits to finish getting funding because I didn't know, but apparently I qualified for some programs through the state that would fund such a journey, which is something that I've wanted to go on for many, many years. So I already have, it's great. I already have this base for it. And because I've always wanted to go that direction, and I aligned myself with all sorts of different like sales jobs and commission jobs and things that I was trying to get into through real estate, maybe another direction, including property management and real estate signs and things like that. Like, now I have all of that experience under my belt. So it's like, it's not enough to know everything about real estate. It's certainly not. But it's funny because I feel more confident in saying yes to such an opportunity because I already, all the mistakes that I made are now the foundation that I can build on and say, oh no, I know I need this, and this. And because I've gone through what I've gone through with being unhoused, and you guys followed along with that journey, and because I went through that, I can now say, you know what? I no longer have those old voices of people in my head and the space of like, you can't do that, or get a real job, or do this and that, like, oh, you'll never get that, or oh, that's really really hard, what will you do about this, what will you do about that? Instead, it's the positive voices, it's the parts of me that were already there saying you could do that. It just takes the right mindset. It takes the Abraham Hicks mindset. Feel it and then you can have it, basically. It takes the Tony Robbins mindset of like, get out there and study who's been the best at this, who has really, built the system, changed the system, innovated the system, who's done it better than others, who does it in different ways than others. Like, really study it. Study what is success in your chosen field, right? Or Sadhguru, like so many different voices that I resonate with, that I feel called towards. And it's really great because I feel like there's so many different things that have been coming together because I did this. I followed my own advice, right? Which wasn't necessarily always like my own, unique advice, but I followed the advice that I felt like I would give to others in each different situation that I was in. And now I'm in this place where I feel like I trust whatever next choice that I might make. Like, I just talked to a few people that have been in real estate for a little while, and I've been doing my research and looking into, what are the unexpected costs? What are the things that people don't think about? Or one of my favorites, what are the things I don't know that I need to know? Right. And looking at, okay, so like, for example, I know there's going to be a good like $2,000 worth of costs that I need to put, that I need to spend within the first year, probably within the first 3 or 4 months. I don't know exactly, but in the past it would have been like, oh man, I'll never come up with that. Like, even though I probably could have, I was in a space of lack, I was in a space of scarcity. I was like, oh no, I gotta worry about what my DM needs so he won't get pulled in by this karmic or that karmic, or I need to worry about what my kids need, this and that. One of them might come up here just a second. But there's so many different things that I would have put in the way of success, and now instead I look at him like, okay, all right. I'm not exactly sure of the hows at the moment, but I do know that it is achievable. And I know that if I have faith that it's achievable, I don't need to know everything. I don't need to know how it's all going to land there. I don't need to know where all the cooperative components are. And here's the funny thing, right after I was thinking that again this morning, I reached out to somebody that I know through a food bank, because I wanted to see if they wanted to come to my youngest birthday this week. And I remembered when I last went to the food bank that they were saying they wanted to talk to me about my real estate career, right? So then I find out that they're a sales coach, right? And they would like to see if I would like to work with them. And at this moment, I'm just like, how great is that? Because this person is somebody that knows, right at this moment, I'm coming from moderate means in terms of a 3D level of things, right? There's nothing I'm going to be able to buy from them right at this moment. However, I have a lot that I can give depending on how things go, right? Because I could be a great testimonial for somebody like that, especially if they have learned things that I haven't yet that can help me get there, or even just being involved in various different groups or activities that they might be a part of, right? That can help elevate the whole process, right? And it's interesting. There's always a lot of kids around here, and then some of the noises that some of them make is like, are we in the city? Or are we in a jungle? Anyways, I find that more and more, the more that I take my own advice, right? The more that It's funny. One of the kids, this is my kid's friend, said, "Look, that's my mother with the golden chain." Right? It wasn't talking about me, but it was funny because like I could see that almost being something like that. In any case, I feel like this card today, for those of you that are on here, somewhere in the story time that I've left for you are messages about your own story, right? Like if you're really feeling called to this, take a moment to sit down and maybe like journal. Like, where are all the times that you have trusted yourself and things went in a good way? Maybe not in the way that you thought they would, and sometimes in the way that you thought they would. Or if you're like me, a lot of times it may go in the way that you thought that it would, but not at the time that you had felt like it would happen, right? Maybe it was later, or maybe there were things that you needed to learn first that delayed it, and then it happened the way that you knew that it would, right? Either way, stop and think about all those times that you've trusted yourself. For one, because it's important for you to always be able to follow your own good advice. That's kind of part of the twin flame journey, like learning to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your mind, trust your heart. But also, for those of you that whether you know who your twin flame is or you don't, there's so much of this journey to where you're going to be called into question. Are you right? Is it them? Should you wait? Should you start something new? Should you do this? Should you do that? You're going to question a lot of things, and as a part of following your own good advice is learning to have faith in yourself, learning to trust yourself, learning to recognize that just because it's not right now doesn't mean that it's not happening. Doesn't mean whether it's a career you want, whether it's housing that you're looking for, whether it's a new vehicle, whether it's your twin flame, whatever it is. If it's not there right now, it's simply not there right now. You know what I mean? And even if it didn't happen in the timing that you wanted, or you thought that you wanted, or you thought that it would happen, doesn't mean it's not happening. Think about that. I feel like there's a couple of you that really, really the end of this video was for you. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next video.